It is, man. But now I want to welcome everybody, man. Thank you for coming on the live stream. I got a very special guest. I got Mush with
What's up,
Stakit.
guys?
Mush, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing good. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop you there. I'm doing good.
Oh no, hell yeah, high energy, man. I love what
Mm,
you bring to the space and everything like that. And Mush, we've got so many things to talk about today on this stream, though. But before we get into all that, tell us about you, man, and how'd you get all the way here to Web3?
shit. Okay, well, that is a long story. I'll
Let's
try and I'll try and sum it up. I'll try and sum it up super quick. Uh, was in healthcare. Um, just cleaned up off drugs like heroin and meth and that kind of stuff. Started working in healthcare as like a nursing aide because I wanted to help people. I wanted to get back. I had lived a different life before that and successful life before I went into drugs too. So I was scared to go back to even just being successful. To be honest with you, I wanted to stay and just help people and just focus on me, if you will. So I ended up getting into healthcare, and then COVID happened, and I started experimenting with magic mushrooms because I got super depressed. I ended up watching Paul Stamets on Joe Rogan the one day at my house, and I'm like, what the fuck is up with this? Because like I was about to go back to heroin because I was like, this is pointless. I feel unhappy. And I was on a whole bunch of different SSRIs and was going to doctors and even being active, but I got to the point where I couldn't even leave the house. So I ended up taking a small dose of magic mushrooms, and boom, everything changed. I stopped smoking for 9 months. I started exercising, started running, got out of a relationship that I wasn't happiest in. Moved out on my own, started just building and then experimenting with mushrooms. And I thought, this is cool. I can help people with this. And then COVID happened. And so all my friends started getting into crypto, or that had been in crypto, where it started kind of going up, right? So the attention was there. So we were playing poker one day, and Shiba came out just recently, and so I bought Shiba. And I was like, fuck it. Like, who cares? Like, let's see. And then literally, I don't know, a month later or something like that, it pumped like crazy. And then I started like looking into crypto because I had bought in Bitcoin way, way, way back in the day, like the early days to use on like Silk Road, like long time ago. Like it was cheap. Don't have it anymore, I promise.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wish I could go back and try and find that transaction too, because that would be interesting to me. But so yeah, I got interested in crypto, and then I started learning about the technology, and then I wanted to continue helping people. I tried launching my own project, didn't really work. Um, After that, I got a lot of connections from being in the ecosystem, working within the ecosystem, trying to do things in the ecosystem. All of them kind of like didn't really work out. And then I made some bad choices after that. If I can just be honest, I was in a spot where I didn't really have much money, right? Because I wasn't doing crypto to make money. Like it wasn't like I was just paying my bills, right? So yeah, when I left that and started doing some other stuff, uh, I had to take a break. I actually called. I don't want to say his name, but I called somebody from Polygon, and they're like, "Dude, you're burnt out. Like you've been doing like because even when I was in healthcare, I was working on crypto stuff. So I would go to my day job, and then I'd go home and I'd work on coding or whatever." Um, he's like, "Dude, you're burnt out. Take a break." So I took like a 3 month break, and then I went and started working construction again. I called up a buddy who owned a business, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll give you a job." Um, so I started doing that, and then in the meantime, I was helping stake it the whole time. So like I was just because Seb is a friend of mine, Task Jake is a friend of mine. So like they would always call me and ask me, and they always kept saying, "We're gonna bring you on. We're gonna bring you on." And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to come back. I feel at peace. All I have to do every day is grab a drill and drill, and maybe yell at somebody to go do their job. That's it. That's it. And then I go home, and that's it. I can do whatever I want. Um, because in crypto I tend to work a lot. Like I spend a lot of hours researching, checking things out, seeing what I think is going to come next, really trying to understand the technology because I'm not a tech person technically, right? I'm more of like a marketing guy.
yeah.
um, but I like the tech, and it gets me interested. But that's kind of how I got to the stake it phase. Is I was working there, and then Seb called me and tasked, and they're like, "Please come on, we want you." And so I said, "Okay, let's give it one last kind of go and see how this works out. If not, maybe I'll go do like my own type of thing or something." But we've built something super cool and something that I really think the ecosystem can use. Like it's not just like a one-off type thing. Like, we're trying to be here for years, right? Like, we understand, a lot of us have been in this ecosystem for years, especially within the NFT ecosystem, right? Especially from Polygon, Solana, Ethereum, kind of all over the place, right? So we see what kind of happens within that. And are they down right now, like we were talking earlier? For sure.
Oh yeah.
100%. Like, and why I think that is because crypto's going up. People are holding their bags, right? So everybody wants to make some money. So, yeah, but that's how I kind of got here. And now building on ordinals. And that was an interesting kind of move for me because ordinals was new when they, like, I think it was
Mhm.
like 9 months ago. It's pretty new. And I didn't really understand Bitcoin. I had done a lot of research into ETH, Polygon, Solana, and like, the Bitcoin maxis would always make fun of me. Like, you haven't read the white paper? And it's like, oh shit. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
what am I actually missing? And then I started learning about the mining, the nodes, how the network actually runs, why it's important that this network stays here, and why people are so bullish on it, right? That's when everything started to change, and I realized, well, you can build a lot on this network. Like, it's just about how to make it affordable.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we're definitely going to get into Stake It and
Mm.
what you're kind of doing with Stake It. But you, as long as I've known you, you have like a very like interesting story, right? And the story
Mm.
is that you came back from like a very dark place, right? And
Mm.
not a lot of people like really know that about you, that you came from like, I guess, pretty much rock bottom, right?
Oh
And
yeah, I
for
was homeless, bro. Like, yeah, like, I was done. Like, if
yeah,
you don't,
no,
if people don't know that, yeah, like, I was homeless on the street for like 2 years, I think, in and out of mental hospitals, in and
hmm
out of rehab since I was 18. Um, would become super successful in sales. Like, I still hold records at a dealership for car sales when I was like 19. I sold
yeah,
like 27 cars in 1 month and 7 cars in one day. I did that on heroin.
yeah.
So like, I became addicted really bad from a knee injury to Oxycontin. And then it eventually worked its way down to me having nothing, like no pot to piss in, no, like, welfare, like the whole 9 yards, doing stupid shit that I should not be doing. And it got to the point where it was just like no rehab would even take me, like
Oh
no
wow.
detox would take me. Mental hospital was tired of me. That's why I kept going there, because I just had nowhere to go. So like, I just kept going to the mental hospital and saying, "No, I need help." And then I would try and break out, like play Prison Break for some stupid fucking reason, which was fun, but um yeah, so I like total rock bottom, like East Hastings. Like, I was on East Hastings for like months selling dope. And if you're not from Canada, it's like Skid Row. It's like
Oh, okay, okay,
tent
okay, okay.
city, people using IV all over the street. If you drive down that road with your doors unlocked, there's a good chance that you're probably gonna get robbed. Like, it's imagine a street full of homeless people with
Mhm.
tents, all doing drugs, all
All
freaking
three,
out, all doing weird shit. Like, that's where I was. Like, I think there's even like, because I was in BC for a while, and I was taking the Sky Train from East Hastings to Surrey all the time, going back and forth. It's pretty much the worst areas you could fucking be in that area, um, and going back and forth. And yeah, dude, I literally gave up. Like, I totally gave up, and I ended up being up for like, I don't know, it was like 11 or 14 days. My face was all fucked up. Like, I was trying to kill myself. Like,
Mhm.
literally trying to kill myself. Like, I used to say, like, the only water I need is the water in my spoon. Like, that's how far I was, like, just
Damn.
gone and done with it. Like, honestly. Um, and so, I talked to my mom the one day, and she asked me one more time. And then I don't remember, there's like a blackout period of like 2 weeks, and I wake up in the hospital. So I don't know what really happened in that blackout period. I'm sure if I thought really hard about it, I remember. But I remember in the hospital, and I remember all the psychiatrists in the hospital were done with me. Like, didn't want to help me anymore. Like, giving up, right? And I had this one little old lady, okay, come in and talk to me. And this is when I was strapped to the bed because I was trying to kill myself. So the second I got out of things, I tried to hang myself, and then I got strapped to the bed.
Jeez,
So
man.
I was strapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, straight up. You're in healthcare, so I'm sure you've seen
Oh yeah,
people
of course.
like
Yeah.
this. Like, that was me, right? The guy that was getting Narcan and waking up and freaking out. That was me. Um, and Yeah, this little old lady comes in and she talks to me, and I'll never forget her eyes. They were blue with white around them, like blue with like that little crescent around them. And she was coming near her retirement in that hospital for being a psychiatrist. So she had like 9 months left or something like that. So she said, "You're not kicking him out. He's going to stay in the locked room for 3 weeks. We're going to put him on methadone, and we're going to see if we can actually help him before I leave." So no, I'm talking like head of like psychiatry was like, "No," and she's like, "I don't care. We're gonna try one more time." So that was it. They put me on methadone, then they weaned me off methadone in the hospital, and then they got me into a rehab, and then I cleaned up. I was clean and sober for, like I said, like 2 years, and then in that 2 year mark was when I was really looking at my life, being like, I would rather be homeless. Like that's how bad the depression was. It was like I would rather go back to that
Mhm.
person. But I didn't really want to in my heart, but it was just like I just don't want to be here anymore. It was like that was
Sure.
what I knew to leave, if you will. And so yeah, and then I took the mushrooms, and then that's kind of when it all changed. So I do have like a successful background before that when I was really young. But totally, like they used to say in the dealership, you're either going to be the kid that has everything or throws it all away for a pill. And
Mm.
it was really true. It was really true because I was top salesman for it was a company called Capital Ford, um, and I was only like 19, and I was top sales like 46th in North America, like including the States for new car sales, and I wasn't even counting used. And it wasn't like I was a shady car salesman. I just like to have fun and give you a good experience, and I wasn't on a commission base. I was on a unit based. So for me, it was just sell as many units as possible. So what's the deal that you need? And I'll get it for you because I make money. You're happy. So yeah, I did really well. But that's kind of like my backstory, if you will. But yeah, I was like like I don't know. Can I show the scars? I have
Yeah,
scars.
you can show the
Yeah, is
story.
that
Yeah, yeah.
okay? Most people could have seen them, but yeah, like for a long time,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
bad camera quality. But yeah, dude, long time
I
I
see it.
was. That's both arms too. Like it's not. Yeah. So for a long time it was like that, and that comes with a lot of behaviorals too, like like a lot of mistrust, and I still deal with the PTSD today. I
Sure.
promise you that. Yeah, I still have my days, sometimes weeks, where I'm just like I don't want to talk to anyone because I don't feel right. Yeah.
Well, much I do want to ask you though, right?
Mm.
Because like, there's people that here like that are watching this, right? Maybe not as bad as you, right? But maybe they feel right that whatever it is, whatever addiction they have, right, or whatever bad place that it is in their life, right? They
Mm.
feel like they're at rock bottom, right? Maybe not as bad as you, right? But it's their rock bottom, right?
A rock bottom's a rock bottom for sure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like, how, like, can you like maybe like talk about like, man, like, how did you like just start right and just kind of like get out of rock bottom and like talk about like kind of like the mindset that you kind of had to finally because I don't think like you won't ever really like kick your kind of like addiction though you just kind of keep it at bay but you finally in
Mm.
essence like had beat it for like that period of time you actually came and rose and got to where you are now you didn't let it just like win and whatnot but like talk about like someone maybe watching this, like, what were some of the things that you did to finally kick that addiction?
It's a very good question. I haven't been asked this question actually. Um, so I think in the past when I would try and clean up, I'd be in so much financial debt and like turmoil around me from what my addiction had caused. So it was all about fixing that, right?
Hmm.
Making money, fixing relationships, doing all, but not really looking at like why do I go for it, if you will, right?
Oh,
And always going back. So I'd clean up for 3 months and then boom, be right back in the gym. Boom, be right back to working. Constant like go, 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 just to keep myself busy enough so I didn't do something stupid. One problem was I think I was burning myself out constantly and then going back to that, becoming depressed, going back to it. This last time when I cleaned up, it was more along the lines of like, hey, I just tried to kill myself for 9 months and it didn't work. Like it just didn't work, right? Like so, like and now my body's in a shit. Like I feel old, dude. If I don't stretch, bro, my girlfriend
yeah,
makes fun of me when I walk in the morning because I look like an old man. Like just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, until I warm up. Um, but no, I think the difference this time was I really was just like, fuck it, only me. What do I need? Right?
Hmm.
Who am I? Right? Like what kind of because like when you go through that period of addiction, you become somebody else. Like
Yeah.
you have to survive. Like it's not like I don't want to. It's like you feel like you have to, because you feel like you're trapped. There is no way out. So like one thing I guess I would say to if anyone is listening is you're not trapped, right? And if you are struggling, seek help, try help, there's a whole bunch of different things out there, and as much as like I wouldn't claim that the rehab saved me, if you will, or like, the programs that are out there, but the friends that I made this last time were huge because I came from a place of no trust to the point of like trusting 3 or 4 people, right? So I was able to talk, which was something I wasn't able to do for a really long time, like
Mhm.
actually be honest, right? And a lot of these guys are like manly men. You know what I mean? And me, I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck, I'm broken, dude. I'm not this person. I did this horrible things to do this, and I need to talk and let it out, and then it's all good. So, like, or at least you feel better. So when it comes down to that, like, I would just say, like, take time, take like 2 years, take like a year, like focus on your health, the health part, so that your prefrontal cortex can actually start making the correct decisions, and give you that break in between period, right? uh, because when that is clouded, oh my goodness, good luck making judgments. And if you have like ADHD or other things that already are affecting that prefrontal cortex, it makes it really hard. I find a lot of people are just self-medicating, including myself. If I speaking
yeah,
from just myself, I was self-medicating, right? I had something happen to me when I was a very young kid that my memory had repressed, right?
yeah,
I had all of the behaviorals of that type of incident, if you will, that were showing as I was a kid, right? But there was no proof or couldn't figure out who did it. Sexually abused child, if you will. Like that was the traits that I was portraying. So whether it was something that I was coping from that, or whether it was just because, like you said, rock bottom, like anyone's rock bottom can be different, right?
yeah,
Like you could get drunk and crash a car, and that could be your rock bottom, right? You could, like, whatever it is that hurts you enough to change, go and change. But I would just suggest like taking that time and having people that understand where you're coming from, that have lived it, right? And they don't have to be super far past it. I'd also recommend, like, if you are going into like AA and A rehabs, detoxes, be very selective with who you make friends, because you will bond with people in there, and you need to focus on yourself. And so when you trauma bond, because that's kind of what you're doing in those situations, is you're trauma
yeah,
bonding. The bond is a lot stronger, right? If that friend starts to fail, there's a higher chance that you will go with them. And I'm just saying that from my own personal experience, from me doing it with others and others doing it with me, right? Because you were all in a vulnerable spot. So to be honest, the best thing I think I did this last time was to have a select group of people, and then I stayed away from all of the politics within that space. And it was
yeah,
only just a few people that I talked to, and I was very open with one and very closed off with the others, but they gave really good advice to help me get through things or change things. And then the big thing that I guess I did was I went down a completely different pathway than I had ever done before. Never been in healthcare, never done this, never, everything was new to me. So it was a learning experience. I never even went to, like, high school, bro. I went to high school, but I never went to college,
yeah,
or
yeah,
was too busy doing heroin at the time. And I was making a lot of money selling cars. So I was like, why would I go to college? I have knowledge, and we have the internet, because this is back in the day when the internet was still like fresh, if you will. Um, but yeah, sorry, you know me, bro. I'm a rambler. I like to ramble. I hope
No,
that makes
I like it though because, like, in a sense, though, like, as we kind of get on this, like, this topic, right? Here that it's just an amazing story because I'm on the other side of it in a sense
mm,
that, like, not a lot of people come back from it, man, and it's just
mm,
so interesting to see people, hearing their testimony, right, and seeing like what they did to come out of it because, like, I see many failed cases, in the work that I do with, like, in EMS and everything like that, that people don't make it, man. People really
mm,
like, they are given so many opportunities, right? And they have maybe, more money, family that throws money at them, right, to get all this help, right?
mm,
But maybe not so much, like, as privileged as, like, of course, some people are more privileged than others, right? And they get like a lot more help. They're like to the finest rehabs and things like that, but they still can't kick it, man. And
mm.
honestly, for what people have talked about, and you've kind of said it too as well. And I want to kind of ask you this too: is that you said you almost have to, like, kind of like in a weird way, kind of like become like a different person in a sense, like you have to kind of like not so much an alter ego, but like kind of like, I don't know. It's because you said
Very
you went.
similar to an alter ego, though.
Yeah, very similar. You have to create this different character of you, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like kind of like that character, like of this, addiction almost kind of has to die, and like you kind of with that kind of the rebirth of it is this new alter ego of yourself. So I just find that interesting that that you said that, man, because it's just like I don't know how you create an alter ego of yourself, you know?
It's like nature versus nurture, though. So it's, if you will, like, so like, uh, what I mean by that is who I am, right? Is a pretty caring person, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't want to hurt you. Helps the neighbor, the little old lady neighbor, bring in her groceries when I'm looking outside. Like, don't like, watch the neighbor's dogs. They try to pay me. No, I don't want to do it. Like, that's me, right? Like, I just like to help. I don't know what that comes from, or where that is. And sometimes I help too much and I feel like I'm being used, right? So that's one of my like defects, if you will, if I can be honest with you. I feel like I help too much, or I go over and extend myself and then get fucked or whatever because, that's the nice guy. Now, the nurture, or sorry, the nature. Imagine living in a totally different society, apocalyptic type of
yeah,
society, right? Different worlds. If I was to take you to a meth head's house, right,
it's crazy.
and all the walls are ripped off because they think that they're bugged, and you
Yeah,
come in there and I'm acting normal and asking him for a glass of water, that is not your nature. That is like, what the fuck is, you're not desensitized to it like I am, right? You become desensitized to all of these normal moral things. And the problem with a drug addiction is, in your brain, don't do it, do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it, do it. And so you have this feeling that it's somebody else. It's not necessarily like an alter ego. It's just that addiction kind of reaching out and saying, please give it to me. Or your brain just giving off those signals, and you're literally fighting off that prefrontal cortex decision making. That's what it feels like, is because you have to do it to survive. A lot of women that get involved with addiction end up going into sex work and stuff like
yeah.
that, and but if you were not to put them in that situation or have that, would they ever probably done that? Probably not. Me, would I ever stolen? Probably not. Like, unless I'm like starving or hungry. But that's what it feels like. It feels like you have no food when you're out of dope. It feels like you have no food. Then there's no food around you, or maybe the city's dry of dope. Like, it's like, it becomes like this instant survival instinct, if you will, where you're just trying to survive. You're just trying not to be sick. You're just trying to get through the day. And there's a piece in that, but that also makes you do things that you normally wouldn't do, because you're sitting there battling your head saying, no, I'm not going to go do that. No, I'm not going to go do that. No, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to sweat it out. Fuck it. I'll drink some water. Boom. Next thing you know, you're in a car going to do something that you probably shouldn't be doing, right? That you would never be doing if you were not under that. So it feels like you're a different person, because you have to become that, because it's like something is making you become that. But it's not. It's you making those decisions ultimately, but that's how it feels. It's,
It's just so, like I said, man. It's so interesting, like that, like that whole process of like rebirthing and creating like this different, kind of like I said, like kind of alter ego of you, man. I just want to say, I've always kind of admired like hearing your story, and I've always admired that about you. Like just like hats off to you, man. I know this is going to be a lifelong battle a little bit, man. It's great to see you here now and you here with us.
it's not as hard anymore either. I should say that. I should
Mm,
really actually say that. Like, and like, I do smoke weed. Like, for
yeah,
sure. Let me just be upfront, because like a lot of people in this space are like, you can't do anything. Um, that's how it is, right? Like, he's not actually clean, but it's been 8 years or something like that since I've actually stuck like a needle in my arm or done like anything
yeah,
other than a weed or drinking or mushrooms. But that's it. And to be honest with you, the thing that I struggle with the most, like addiction wise these days, is cigarettes.
yeah.
100% nicotine and coffee. That's like my thing. But I can't take ADHD medication, so that actually like kind of helps, if you will. Oh, Brandov, what's up, Brandov? Shout out for showing up.
Yeah, no, and like I said, much like amazing. I could go another hour or so and talking about this topic though, but like thank you for sharing this story. And
Mm.
as much as we're gonna much as I hate to, we do got to pivot to actually stake it right and what you exactly you guys are and kind of tell us a little bit about stake it, man, for people that don't know.
Mm. I'll try and make it like super super simple, if you will, just in
Yeah,
case there's people in here that are in here for the last talk. We are an ordinal staking platform, which means we are, um, NFTs on Bitcoin staking platform. Okay, ordinals are a little bit different than actual NFTs. So we have the ordinals on the Bitcoin side of things, that what we're trying to do is provide utility and tools for them to use so that they can grow and they can get better. One of them being staking. You can stake with us for points, BRC20 or runes is what we're implementing currently at the beginning. And then you'll have your item shop that you can go in and use, where you can use and put different things on there to use those points for, or send out those things. So it's a way for the projects to reward their holders, if you will, and reward their users, right? Like that's what we're trying to do. Because like a big thing with NFTs, ordinals, is how do you reward your holders? Because that's one of the people that are holding, the diehards, the fucking, how do you reward your flippers and how do you reward your traders, right? And
Yeah.
keeping those people happy is sometimes hard. But what if you can track and you can see all of this stuff and you can maintain it and see who's active? And so like what we're kind of getting into is staking, software, ordinals, and super simple. And we're implementing it all. We don't have anything like technically public yet. We are looking at going into beta testing with some trusted individuals here pretty soon. And then after that, yeah, it'll be interesting because we're trying to do it so it's as cheap as possible for the project. So any project can technically come to us and get signed up. Like the software is available for any business that wants to use it. So you come, you sign up, you use our software. We're going to try and get you live within like 72 hours, especially if it's off in the beginning. We have a super simple software like setup to get that software live. I have to be careful with what I say. Fuck, I had to talk to Jarek earlier. I'm like, yo, there's certain things that I'm allowed to say
Yeah.
and not, because Stakit is like full-fledged company. Like we have lawyers, we have like we're
Legal
set up in
teams and all that.
Dubai, we're set up in the US, we're set up in Hong Kong. Like literally, like there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes of trying to bring a Web 2 company to utilize a Web 3 software, if you will. Because like Web 2 and Web 3 don't really mix the best, to be honest with you. Is because we're all goldfish gamblers in Web 3. What's the next thing? What's this? What's that? But yeah, so it takes a little bit of time. So yeah, full-fledged company, all that kind of stuff, all of the legal things that we need, all of the registrations that we need, everything, if you will. And so I kind of have a hand in a little bit of everything within Stake It right now, as I'm just kind of overseeing and pushing the product forward and making sure that when the product does come out, we have a good experience for you guys. Like that's the main thing. Simple, good experience, easy to use, start rewarding your holders. And that's kind of what it is. We personally don't give out anything. This is all a software for businesses to use, if you will, or projects to use, if you will, where they can use that. And then we just take a small micro transaction on each claim and each stake and unstake. So we're trying to not just do like a service and here, it costs you $3,000 for hosting and this and that. No, like we're trying to make it so it's affordable for everybody to use, so anyone can come in and use our software. Yeah, I think I covered pretty much everything I'm allowed to
You
talk
did.
about.
You did. But I do want to ask you this though, like, how
Yeah,
do you guys like? Because you do have those diehard, like blue blood, like
yeah.
Bitcoin maxis that don't think that anything should be built on Bitcoin. That like what you like ordinals and runes are kind of like an abomination, right? And
Mm.
like, what is your kind of opinion on all that? You know what I mean? It's like some of these, are you going to be able to flip some of these diehards into actually maybe thinking about ordinals and runes and all that?
So it's very interesting. I know we were talking about this before, so I'm trying not to regurgitate exactly what I said before. Um, just spit it out. But I think with anything, people don't like change.
Yeah.
Nobody likes change. People get stuck in their ways, set in their ways. They understand a certain thing, they don't want to see it change. The way that Bitcoin is set up is actually not the best to launch stuff on. It is really good for transfer to transfer, all that kind of stuff, right? But there is certain things that you can do on it that do make sense, right?
Mhm.
And that network has got some of the biggest holdings. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's your liquidity. That's where everything's paired with. Like, that is there. And like, I get it. They're stuck in their ways. They want to see certain things. But if they were really old time Bitcoiners, they'd have miners set up.
Mhm.
They'd have a node set up. They'd be in the white paper. They'd have all that, right? So I don't know if that was me. The way that I look at it is like, well, okay, well, I'm going to be making more in fees because now there's more stuff that's actually transacting and happening on Bitcoin, right? So
Exactly.
the network is being used, which is what the network is supposed to be used for, right? Is it set up for mass adoption? No. Is it set up for people with, like, decently well off? Yeah. But is there ways that you can make it not necessarily better? Because, like, one thing I really like with Bitcoin is that it is decentralized, right? Like that, like there's not, like, I'm safe if I keep it here, right? That's the way I feel, right? I don't want other people coming in and giving regulations and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah, right? Like I just want to be free, and I think that's what kind of Bitcoin stands for, is the freedom part of it. Um, so to those diehards, it's like an Apple iPhone versus like a Samsung.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody uses an Apple iPhone if nobody's using an Apple iPhone. Also, nobody uses that Apple iPhone if the experience is shit. Okay. So, what I mean by that is I want to provide a good software that allows people to talk about the software, that keeps the holders happy of the projects, and also helps the project succeed too. Because then, if you have that and it's working, and how are they going to come in and be like, this is horrible? It's like, no,
Yeah.
no,
It's an
like,
abomination.
just
Like, how
wait,
dare
just
you?
wait. There's other ways that we can utilize this. And yeah, it's about thinking big picture, if you will, right? And I think those guys do want mass adoption to happen.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I haven't had somebody came to me being like, this is a bad idea. I haven't had that yet. I'll be honest with you, right? Especially after sitting down and talking. And if they sign the NDA, I can talk a little bit more freely, right? So it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. It's like, yeah, okay. Um, but no, like to them, like, dude, just do what you're doing. Like you should be chilling. If you're an old time Bitcoin holder, you should be chilling, right? Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't be even worried about what I'm thinking. You should be
What we're
off on
building
the
on
floor.
it, or
Yeah,
anything
where's your
like that.
island, bro? Like, like, yeah. So like for me, it's like I feel like everybody just wants to talk and they want to be involved, and maybe they're just trying to understand, and that's their way of understanding, or maybe they're trying to slow it down so that they can get more There's so many reasons that these people could be doing it, and I don't know the reason, right? But I can
Yeah.
tell you that I haven't had somebody came to me and say, oh, this is a bad idea yet. Not yet, but I'm sure there'll be somebody, and I hope there is, because I like FUD. So
The only thing I heard negative though was when the whole runes thing happened, right? Everybody,
mm,
there were some people that had some pushback on it, right? Like it was kind of more of like, I don't know, man. It was pretty much, I don't know. It was a very weird time, right? But what was your take when all the runes airdrops went out and all
it
that
was
stuff,
too
the future
hyped.
stuff coming?
It was too hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. um I have to be careful with what I say. uh it
No,
was too
that
hyped.
legal
I
team was
sorry, because yeah, it was a little bit too hyped for me. It was a little bit too hyped for me. I wanted to see how it functioned. I want to see how it worked. I started setting up my nodes so that I could,
mm,
um, in Sketch, I think it's called. I can't remember. I'd have to look up the
yeah, yeah,
docs. And Sketch my first rune and do all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting. It was cool, but it was so fast and so happening, and then everyone jumped on board. I think with anything new, people have high expectations, or they have high expectations. Like, if a lot of people that were coming for runes were coming from Solana, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Right? They
yeah,
were coming from over from so they're used to a certain way of doing things, right? So when that wasn't the way that they were expecting it, I think that was like the kickback. But you do see like a whole bunch of runes pumping and runes going up, and like it's just like any other kind of network. It's new. People always fade. People faded ordinals in the beginning too. Like there was
right.
like a 3 month thing where everybody was talking about it, and then it was like dead, like completely dead. And then OMB came out, and then it started picking everything back up. And so I feel like it just goes in these cycles. And with any new technology that comes out, there's always going to be like a hiccup, if you will, or
Yeah,
like a slowdown period, or maybe something didn't work, or expectations, like I said, were too high, or it was too hyped for what was going to happen. But I do think there's like good projects out there that are utilizing those and giving them even to their ordinals and lining things up. And I think the whole runestone thing that happened with all these airdrops was a good way to bring in that meta from those other places. So I feel like it's just adapting and getting bigger, but we'll see. We'll see. It's like a L2, right? So it's not like, if you will, in a certain way, right? So we'll see, because there might be even a better one that comes out later or whatever. And normally there's always somebody that lays that ground, right?
yeah,
And people see that and they go, oh, well, I could do this better, or why didn't it do like that? And they start thinking and they start producing. So I think it's just going to create more innovation because people want it. It was clear that people wanted it, right? Were
The
you
Twan's
on a
always
date
funny.
with Tuan? Were you on a date with Tuan or what?
I,
Hey, what's up, Tuan?
yeah, I was actually on a date with Twan, so I
Nice.
actually did leave my shirt at his house. But yeah, no, man, it's a very interesting to see how like this part of like the space kind of like goes right, and then like ordinals were dead. Now they're coming back. Now you're seeing Dog to the Moon
Mm,
being listed on like like Mexi and I believe Gate.io too as well. Yeah, I can't
mm,
remember exactly though, but they're starting they have to pick up steam, and I really kick myself for not getting into that. But also too as well like you're having like the ordinals thing kind of going on, but we're also seeing too is a lot of celebrity meme coins, right? And all this meme
mm.
coin craze. Like we had all this crazy stuff going on, and now what's kind of your take on all this crazy celebrity meme coin craze going on?
I think Iggy's doing it the best from what I've
I
seen so
know,
far.
right?
And I think that, so I don't know if this is true. I'm just going to say that right now because I
Yeah,
don't know. With my job at Stakit, I do a lot of marketing research and try to keep up to
yeah.
date with everything that's happening like within the whole ecosystem of Web3. Um, and I was like, why is she so good at crypto Twitter? Because
Hmm.
like she is. Like the memes, the posting, it's
Yeah,
I'm going. She went over to New York to go to the stock exchange or something. Like even if she doesn't get listed on the stock exchange, it's good PR. It's good, like that's good crypto Twitter shit. Like, so I think her brother, and I don't know if this is true. I think she has a brother that's involved within NFTs
mm.
and crypto and Solana and those kind of things that is helping her too, because she's doing podcasts and she's getting out there. She's doing spaces, like
Yeah.
so. If you were to ask me who's doing it the best, it's her. Is there any utility? I have no idea. Do I hold some? Yeah, but I have no idea. I'm just impressed. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy some and I'll hold it because I missed the thing. Now, if you go over to like the other side,
Yeah.
I think the scammers and those people see that and they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh shit, I wonder." I think we should be careful. I'm gonna be careful moving forward because I got fucked on Hulk.
Oh
But
yeah.
like, yeah, so like, careful moving forward in the fact of like, maybe let's wait and see if make sure it's actually them and what they're actually kind of, because I think there's gonna be a lot of that starting to happen, right? And not just like on the fact that like they're doing it, but scammers are doing it, and then like they're in the States, so what's the legal? I don't know the legal stuff behind that because there's gotta be, because like I can't mistake it, I can't touch those. So like there's gotta be something there, and then it's the question of, are all these celebrities going to come out? Is everyone going to launch their own meme token, and then is
That's what I'm
everyone
thinking.
moving out of the States because crypto isn't friendly?
That's what I'm thinking though, because like at first we were kind of mean to her, right? At the beginning, rightfully so, right? But then she actually put into work, right? And so now I kind of feel bad. I was like, man, dude, she's actually been putting in work and kind of like kicking ass, right? But we can't really gatekeep, right? So we're gonna have to let some of these, other celebrities kind of in. So I'm kind of like on the fence with it, right? But then you see like 50 Cent, Soldier Boy, I think some guy named Trippy Red or whatever. They
Mm.
do something and then just kind of ruin it and whatnot. And I don't know. Then the Tate brothers doing their weird kind of thing and all that. Man, I don't know, man. It's just like this is like a very weird like meta going on right now that I don't really understand. Like I want to make money off of it, but of course, I'm getting wrecked on Pup.Fun though. So go figure with that though. But it's a very weird time.
Pump.Fun should sponsor this show for how much money you've probably lost on it.
Please make sure the money I lost though. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very like weird time, and like I just kind of interested to see like kind of what's going to be like the next meta, right? Are we going to have like this kind of like reset in meme coins? Because like I thought that was going to happen, but then now Cardano's popping off, so it's like it's just like
I was
going.
wondering if they were going to have their day again. I always wonder about
They
XRP
did
too, because there's some
Nike.
diehards in XRP. You want to talk about diehards? There's some diehards in XRP. Yo, my dad called me. This is bad. So I don't
Yeah,
know if this is top signal for you XRP holders or not, but my dad, my 70 whatever year old dad, called me the other day and asked if he should be buying XRP, and he's never listened to me a word of his life in crypto. So either they're marketing very very well,
uh-huh.
or I don't know. Maybe top signal. Pops might be top
I don't
signal.
know, man. I don't know how the rest of this kind of like years kind of go with that. Of course, the election. I think things are going to kind of pick back up, and what. And of
Mm.
course, Trump's going to have his thing, too as well, though. But as we're going back to like stake it, right? You guys. don't
Mhm.
really have anything just yet, right? Because legal and everything like that. When will you start to see kind of like more like marketing or some stuff, more information to kind of roll out with that?
Pretty soon. I wouldn't have been on the show unless it was pretty soon, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
Because I pushed this. How many times did I push this? Like three
Oh
times
wow,
on
man!
you?
Wow. I was like, man, dude, this guy's dodging me like
Flaky.
a Tiger
Look at
King.
this flaky guy. Yeah, no, um so like if you go into our Discord, you'll see the next thing that's going to be popping off is the new website update. I
Yeah,
can't give you a date on when that's coming, but it will be announced before it goes to go live, where we'll have all of our information, where you'll have the breakdown, everything, how you can use item shop, future things that we're doing within our roadmap, and then I can talk a lot more freely of it. And I am excited for the product to go live because I want the user experience to be really good for anyone that wants to use it. Because like there during that ordinal hype, there was a lot of people from even Polygon, Solana, Ethereum that moved over to ordinals, right? So there's a way to if there's a way to make all of them happy that came over here, that's what I want to do, right? And simple, easy to use with expectations of stuff that they're already familiar with. Because staking is not something new, right? Like we've had staking around for a long time. I'll just be frank, like we've had staking around for like years, right? Like I've been staking NFTs for years, but ordinals completely new, right? And making it affordable on Bitcoin completely kind of new as well. So that part is going to be the interesting part for me, and what I'm kind of most excited about is to see actually how people like the software, and then how can I make it better for you, or what do you need so you can reward those holders. Because that's the whole reason why NFTs still have it, right? It's all about the community, right? And rewarding that community and bringing that community in tighter together, and doing things and IRL events and this and that. So yeah, no, it'll be cool. Stakit's been going to a ton of IRL events too, like all the time. They're always calling me, say, "Can you go here? Can you go here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm tired. Like, somebody has to run operations. I'll stay home." Um, but no, I wanted to ask you actually, when are you going to an IRL event?
I might go to like, is it Basil Art Basil
Art
Basil
Basel? Yeah, Art
Basil?
Basel. That's a good one.
That one, and then I definitely want to hit up NFT NYC. I missed consensus though, just because it was kind of short. I didn't really. It was kind of short notice for me though, but
Mm.
those are kind of the really ones I really want to hit up. Rare Evo was another one, but I just don't think I'll have time for that though. But um, yeah, with all these NFT events and everything like that. And speaking of NFTs and us being all down, right? You have of course, me and you are DGOTS holders, right? I mean,
Mhm.
D Labs holders and whatnot, and we're having NFTs just across the board down, man. And kind of like what's kind of been your opinion on that, right? NFTs being down, one, and two, will they ever be back like they were in 2021?
Ooh, well, not financial advice on that statement, but
Yeah,
um, I don't look at so I'm not a flipper when it comes to
yeah, same.
NFTs. I'm really not. I suck at flipping NFTs. Like
Yeah,
I had opportunities to make lots of money in selling NFTs, and I held them to zero, like many times. So
a lot of manifest.
I'm not a good flipper. So for me, price, it's okay. I don't care. Goes down, cool, whatever. As long as it's not some. The only time I was actually upset was the remnants. I don't know if you ever remember the remnants from Solana. This is a
Yeah.
while ago. I got a bonus and went in and bought Soul and was like, what NFT should I buy? Because this is when Side was planning on actually launching on Solana. And so
Mhm.
like I went to Solana to try to meet people and get to integrate it. And I bought remnants for like 14 something Soul. One
Oh,
remnant for 14 something Soul. And that's back when like Soul was like $100. And then when Soul was $8, they were under a Soul, I think, or under 2 Soul or something. So I got wrecked on that. I still have it. Still fucking have it as a reminder. But they're going to go down, they're going to go up. And to be honest with you, one thing that, okay, so this is not financial advice, it's just something that I've been noticing throughout the years. Crypto pumps, NFTs dump. Crypto pumps, NFTs dump. And like, if we go back into the Polygon days where I was really active within Polygon and we had alpha just pumping, like it was like
yes.
whatever was that, right? I didn't sell, and I should have
Yep.
probably sold because I looked at the chart on Polygon and I was like, oh, fucking Polygon's about to go up by the looks of it. And so, yes, of course, Polygon goes up. And what do people do? They sell off on their NFTs because they don't want to miss out on all the money that they lost. Me, into that crypto that, you know, might have a 10x or a 100x that you might hold for a long time. And some of these founders aren't even around anymore. These people aren't even, they just gone, and like, you know, or they give up, and it's just like, why? Like, just keep like, anyways. um but yeah, so like them being down, Utes being down, I literally bought tippity top. Okay, like when because like I was giving Utes, and I've been always getting people to buy Utes and DGods, because I really think that the community within that
Yeah.
D Labs ecosystem is fucking great. Like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of awesome people, and they all seem really genuine to me and real. Like, it's not like they're putting on a front.
Some talented
Um,
people in that community.
Hardworking fucking people. I can
Yeah.
tell you that much, right? Where I guarantee they're pounding that fucking coffee all the time, like,
Yeah.
cause, or Adderall or whatever they're doing, because they're fucking just giving her all the time, right? And I like that culture. I also like golf, and one of the main reasons, like, so when I went to NFT NYC, I think it was
Yeah.
NFT NYC, not last year but the year before. I think it was like their first golf tourney or their second golf tourney. I can't remember, if Dougie forgive me. Um, but I met Doug, right? And I met Topher, and I met these people, and Dougie paired me up with Sonny, and me and Johnny went and played with Smitty, and so that's when I got to meet Sonny, even before Sonny was Sonny, and that was cool because he's that person that he is even still today. Sometimes he like portrays like something else, but he's fucking dope, very genuine guy, very nice, and like, so I met all these people, and it made me feel like I was in their family. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like, it was like they welcomed me, right? And they knew like I didn't have one, right? Like, I was given it. I didn't buy it myself because I couldn't afford one. No offense, Frank, but I couldn't afford your shit. And so I had to wait, and then I ended up buying the tippity top, and then I think like a week later, Frank took over, and he said send it lower, and I was like, oh, okay, what's the play here? This is interesting. And then I started to understand the play, and it was just getting rid of some people, and building a tighter knit community is the way I perceived it. Um, and yeah, so like, let them go lower. I think they will have their day. I think they will have a comeback, right? Like, but then it comes
A
down
lot
to
of hate.
who's doing the best marketing is truly what I think it comes down to. Because if you go and you look at a lot of NFT projects that are out there that are tech based, that aren't a company, but just like, you know, NFT projects that are tech based, you don't really see them. And it's not because they don't have a good product, it's because their marketing is
Yep.
lacking, right? This space is full, and this is what I realized when I took my break: goldfish gamblers, and I'm one of them. Where it's
Oh,
next thing, goldfish, next thing. Ooh, shiny. Hawk two. Oh, Hawk two. I'm in. Like,
yeah.
you
I,
know, like, yeah. So like, I think they will come back. I think ordinals will be interesting, because the difference. I don't know if you know the difference between NFTs and ordinals.
yeah. 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 Of course.
Okay, just for, if you guys don't know, NFTs are stored off chain. The data is stored off. Most is on chain, but the a lot is pulled from IPFS sources. Where ordinals, it's actually on chain. It's inscribed on chain. That data is there. You can't change it once it's there, unless you're going to reinscribe it. That's the difference, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I think everyone always likes something, and if it doesn't go their way, they're gonna FUD it. Even me, dude. Like, you don't think when Ghost Kids changed their art, I wasn't in there FUDding? Like, fuck, I was so mad.
Oh yeah.
Like,
No, definitely. But it goes to like that. It's just the marketing thing that you talked about, right? Because even then, like, Polygon, right? For as much as we made fun of, like, Polygon, right, being very much like dad chain, very missionary sex chain, right? Very boring, very
I
bland.
never heard that one, but okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like very bland, right? But
Okay.
I mean, dude, they've I mean, they've listened, man. They've had their win markets. They have their own pump.fun, right? They're putting out, different stuff. Like some of their, they had some like hot anime chicks do like a little like thing for them too as well. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
No,
This must be all happening within like the last month, yeah?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And then even Cardano, man, Cardano now, whereas they didn't really embrace that meme coin like culture. They had Snake and everything like that, yeah. But now like they're having others too as well. So some of these chains are waking up like, yeah, we have great tech, but people don't really care, man. They want to make money, and that
Yeah.
I like the fact that Polygon, even in Cardano with Nike and with that pig Nike. I don't know if you've gotten into that too as well.
Mm-mm.
Still early, you can still get into that. Yeah, like like people are starting to realize like, hey, people, we got to have room for the degen side. We got to have all this other stuff. I mean, yeah, people care about the tech, but They want to make money too.
Nobody uses an Apple iPhone if nobody's using an Apple iPhone.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it really comes down to. Who's using what? Who's where's the liquidity? Where's the transactions happening? Where can I make money? That's what people really care about in this space when it really comes down to it, right? Like unless you're a builder, you're trying to make something or do something, and you really just care about making money, and it's
Yes.
evident when you talk to people long enough. Um, but yeah, the chains need to. So like if there are any chains listening right now, you guys need to increase your users. You need to increase your transactions, and the best way to do that is probably to follow hype and get something going and back that. So
Hmm.
whatever catches that hype, back it and support it in a way that doesn't legally get you in trouble. And I think you'll see a lot more users coming over. And I think Polygon is doing good things, especially with bringing certain people like Nil into the from the
Yeah.
ecosystem into it, because you need to listen to your users. You need to listen to your customers. Like when I was in sales, if I had an unhappy customer, you weren't leaving until I was happy, and you were happy. Like you're
Hmm.
not leaving. Like let's figure this out. Because like you need that good user experience. You need people to want to come back. You need people to have it simplified, especially if you want mass adoption and cheap. Because
Yeah.
nobody, especially nowadays, like like I'm spending like $500 on groceries a month. Where if you go back like 2 years, it was like 150. Like everything is going up, priorities are changing within people and all that. So if you want people to use your tech in a mass adoption way, you need to make it easy to use, you need to make it accessible, and you need to make it simple.
Hmm.
Because you need to really keep it simple, because if not, you're going to have a whole bunch of people like me that need to go and set up a booth somewhere at like a college campus and be like, do you understand crypto? Because if not, do you know how to set up a wallet? Do you know why it's important to have a seed phrase? Like all of that stuff needs to be simplified and safe and hopefully decentralized, right? Like hopefully, but we'll see. Like, but I sometimes wonder if somebody came back, like Satoshi came back in time, like from a phase of where there was a one world economic form money that we used, and he was just like, here, and gave it. I don't know. It is interesting because like I don't know, because now you're seeing all the governments kind of jump on board with it, or at least looking at it more seriously. So I think if anything, we're in a really exciting time, and who really fucking knows what's gonna happen, dude? Like
Exactly.
Biden might launch a fucking token, and then
Oh,
on what
Trump's
chain?
very pro crypto now. He's using it to.
Push himself.
Oh yeah, 100%. So
Mm.
he's gonna have the support of crypto Twitter and everything. But I do want to ask you like much too that I know you're into ordinals, right? And
Mm.
NFTs and whatever else you're into too. But what other sector of crypto that you're actually bullish on that you don't really talk about? Do you think it's gonna be pretty big?
I think gaming, but it has to be done in the right way.
See, that's the thing. We had Jonah go off here a little bit too as well, and crypto gaming is it dead? Is it not though? But no, it's very interesting. I think gaming will be there, but yeah, man, like what do you exactly mean? Like has to be done right?
It has to be simple, and I feel like it has to start from a game. If you do it in the crypto network, hey, we're releasing a crypto game. Your market is crypto. Like it's
Mhm,
not gaming. It's
mhm.
not like your market is crypto. But if you launch a game first, this is the way I kind of look at it. I might be wrong on it, but if you launch a game first, you get the user base, and then you incorporate it in a way that it doesn't seem like it's incorporated, and then you surprise people afterwards and say, hey, by the way, this was a token the whole time. Then you're going to have all these people
Yeah,
that are newbies that just made money and it was simple for them and they enjoy playing the game. So guess what? They're going to keep playing the game. Then they're going to share it. But the problem is then greed gets involved. And if people aren't making $1,000 or $100, they're not going to play the game. Like, because that's why the people in crypto are here, is to make the money. So if it's done right, I think like, let's say Fortnite was just like, oh yeah, by the way, V-Bucks are now crypto.
yeah,
Different story, totally
crazy.
use case, right? All of your skins are NFTs or ordinals, different use case, right? You can then sell them, but they didn't work it like that in the beginning, right? So now they have to kind of pivot if they do go there. But I think gaming would be an interesting one, but I also think that like streaming, if you
Mm.
will be an interesting one. A
There are
reward, yeah, right? And I've seen even 2 years ago, I can't remember what the one was called, but I bought it because it was literally a YouTube
Veracity was
platform.
one.
Huh?
Veracity, I think was one, but yeah, there's a lot of crypto streaming services too. Yeah, some of them went away, but I definitely know what you're talking about. Yeah, like it was a big thing back then.
I think that will have a day too, because now the way that I looked at it, because like I used to stream back in the day in COVID just for fun, right?
Hmm?
If I was streaming, right, like we're doing our streaming thing, wouldn't you like to reward Tuan and Brandol for coming in here and being supporters and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff? Wouldn't you like it to be a simple way? So if that was simplified and easy to do, right? I think you'd see a lot more streamers jump on board because they're, like they're already involved. Like the big ones, they're involved. Like XQC spending fucking how much money a month on gambling on stage,
yeah,
right? Like that's all crypto, right? So like these guys are already involved. I don't think they fully understand what's going on. But if you were to implement it and reward their users for watching them, entertaining, interacting, track, because crypto you can track like pretty much anything that happens on chain. So if you can track all that data, that in itself is valuable. Like, so I really think that will have its day, but it's not ready. It's not ready. And then I think you will have a lot more people like celebrities streaming,
yeah,
launching their own tokens. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah. No, that's
I
all. Yeah,
think that would be the next kind of phase into it. Like where if the celebrities come in, oh, I'm going to reward you, and well, now we need a simple way to reward. How do you can see like, sorry, I was sick last week. Um, you can see who's watching. Even on Twitch, you can see who's watching you the most, who's doing this the most. What if you could reward those people? What if you could give those people a job because the people are buying your token because your viewership is going up? Or do you know what I mean? Like, it's just how do you get around the legal stuff? Because that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
tough part.
definitely.
Because it's totally doable. It's just how do you do it legally so that it can continue to happen?
Yeah, I've always kind of like hated like though with crypto gaming. It almost feels like, but like you are right. You almost felt like the crypto gaming that you almost had to hide it, right? You're almost like crypto gaming was almost like the side chick, right? Like you had to kind of hide.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that we
yeah.
were that it's actually like crypto game and whatnot. So I was just like, man. But I mean, with some of these diehard gamers, it's something you're just gonna have to kind of do, and because like I said, change. Much like with the Bitcoin maxis, not wanting anything built on Bitcoin, just being pure, just as it is. People don't like change, so you're gonna eventually gonna have to like smooth talk them or kind of like put the pill in the peanut butter is how Van says it, and like get them
That's
to
fine.
eat it. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think if you can do it in a way where people don't expect it, that's the best
Yeah.
way to get people on. Like it's just like a surprise, but it's like a happy birthday surprise. And I wouldn't, if it was me, I wouldn't do anything crazy amounts of money because even $10 is big for somebody playing a video game that they're already playing. Like like slowly increase it. It'll just be an Axie Infinity thing again, where
No.
it's just too much. It's oversaturated. It becomes oversaturated, and then everything dumps, and people stop playing your game because it's like, oh, there's no point. I'm not making money. I'm not having fun. But I do think gaming will have a day. I think streaming will have a day, and I think I can't say it. There's another thing that I think, but I can't say it. I'm sorry.
Damn legal team in your ear though. But Mush, I
Literally, hey, could
yeah,
you
I know
imagine? I
in
had
your
a
headset like
headphone
no,
there. Hey, just don't do
shoot
it.
'em. But I do appreciate you coming on. And I know you're pressed for time and whatnot, but I do want to ask you this though, right? Personal goals and also with Stake It too as well. Like, where do you guys see yourself? A year from now, where would you guys like to be? Like, it'd be
Oh, hard to
personal and
say.
Stake It. I
Because
want
we
both.
have okay. So what I can say is we have a long plan of integrating things, especially over a year. The things that I would love to tell you, I can't. I can
Mm,
tell you that we're working on things though that will kind of shake things up a little bit if done properly. If done properly. And this is why it's going to take a little bit of time and testing and all this kind of stuff. Um, it will come out eventually, and it's not, I can't say it because it's not happened yet. And it hasn't happened anywhere in the space that I've noticed. So
ooh, okay.
if that makes sense. So we are working on ways to really do something cool. And one of the reasons why we are set up so legally is because like we do not plan on going anywhere. Like we spent a year getting all this legal shit done. It's still not all done. Like it's like it's a we're not planning on going anywhere. We're literally getting set up, trying to set up everywhere in the world if we can, like everywhere legally in the world if we can, so we don't have to go anywhere. In a year, I would like to see at least this out of 100% of Ordinal's projects, I would like to see at least 65 using our software happily.
Mm.
Happily. Okay, 65% happily using our software, and the holders happily using it in a year. That's what I would like to see.
And what about
And then
Mush?
me, dude, I would like to. So when I took that break, like when I took that 3 month off, I really had. It took me about a month, Jarek, to like come back to normal. I was so burnt out. Like no feeling, no nothing, just fucking.
Yeah.
Um, and so for me, it came down to, oh my god, I just spent 2 years fucking doing this and pretty much ignoring my girlfriend because all I did was work. Right. So for me, it was like, oh, okay, because she hasn't been back home to the Philippines since she moved here, which was like 8 years ago. And right after she moved here, her dad passed away. So she hasn't been back home since her dad passed away. So one of the things that I want to do is get her over there. I want to buy our own house, and I wanted a dog. So I got the dog. I went and got the puppy the other day because I was like, fuck it, I'm tired of waiting. Then I went and got a new puppy. I love him. So for me, my goals, bro, just try to be healthy, try not to smoke, and just get the. I want the whole family shit. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
want like a kid, I want like a dog, I want to go fishing, I want to do golf with them. I find it fun. Like I've learned so much from training this dog. I don't know if you can see, but the
Yeah.
patience is definitely there. So it's interesting. It's fun. It's been fun. He definitely likes my girl more than me. So I'm always at home, so he never gets away from me. There's no time to miss me. But yeah, that's kind of my goal. And then get a little bit more active back in the ecosystem as well, because I do enjoy coming into spaces with you guys and talking with you guys and sharing ideas and staying up to date and stuff. Which I can say that time should actually be coming pretty quickly here, where you start seeing me a lot more active in spaces again, because a lot of my work has been done and pre-planned ahead, if you will. So like now I can come and talk, and soon I'll be able to talk about everything, and that's what I'm really excited about. Is not because you know me, bro. You've known me for a while. I don't like to keep my mouth shut. I like to fucking yap and
Yeah.
talk and fucking
We missed you
get
in spaces,
excited.
man.
I'll come back for sure. I'll come back. Like I've been popping into No Futures. I'm actually really proud of him. I know like he had
He's
like
done
that
really
whole
good.
thing,
You
but
know,
like
like,
I'm actually
as much as he's a soft nipple nerd, man, he's done really good. Like I can't really hate on the guy, man. The work that him and D and Van and Big Neil have done, man, is just like I say,
isn't
how can you not be proud of those
the
guys? It worked out for
consistency
them.
is insane. Like the consistency is really really impressive, I must say. Um,
Even Twan, shout out Twan,
Yo, yeah,
Twan,
shout out Twan. Your growth
Twan,
has been crazy too, Twan. You're
no,
even getting paid from X now. I seen
he's
that
getting
this
paid from
morning.
X. He's got a Ute in GTA, like Twan, No
Yeah,
Future. Even some of the thread writers here, like
that
Star and
Star Platinum guy. Yeah, I like him. I like him a
Jake
lot
Carone,
too.
Jake Throne. I remember so many other people. Timothy and all them, and of course, Brandon also started coming back and doing his thing too as well with some of the spaces and
Should
video
I
stuff.
reignite a space?
Huh?
Should I reignite my space? I guess
You
I'll
should
ask
you
you
should do
this.
that, man. Whatever it is, man.
Did
We've
you
been
ever
making
come to
it
that
out of you.
space? Were you
Huh?
around then? Did you ever come to that space?
I
Were you
did.
like the party space? Yeah.
Yeah, but I was really nobody then, so I was well, I'm still kind of nobody now, but I was scared to speak, so I was just kind of watch you from the back of the
Scared to
house.
speak to your own podcast show. Wow.
Yeah, I was kind of scared, man. I was kind of like, until I became this here too. But Mush though, like I do want to real quick before you go, with Stake It, right? I
Mm.
know a lot of people here are probably hearing this right and saying like, man, sucks he can't say anything, right? But that's really something you guys should feel safe about too. Like there's legal involved, right? There's
Mm.
like certain things that they're watching out for with regulation and things like that. That I do admire and that you guys are watching out for like that type of stuff. So you should start feeling like really better about Stake It and seeing what they have coming up.
Yeah, and we'll have stuff going out where there'll be a lot more information coming up soon. I can't say a date. I'm sorry, you guys, but it will be coming. And when it happens, I'll be posting it everywhere and sending it out and doing that whole thing so people can understand it. And yeah, right now, I wish, dude, I wish. And like, you know, you know me, I like to yap and talk about shit, and it was kind of the same thing with Seidel, where I couldn't say things at first, and then when I could, people got interested, and so the same kind of thing is happening here, but from a lot more tech side of thing and the legal side of thing, because we're going to have so many users using our well, we hope anyways, using our platform, that we want to make sure that you guys are safe, that your funds are safe, that we're getting audits done and all this kind of shit. So even, yeah, I don't think I can say that part, but yeah, so we're looking into everything beforehand so that everyone is safe using our product, and that you're having a good experience, and that it is simple, and that it is easy to use, and that if I needed to get my dad to come and try it, he could try it and use it if he had a basic understanding. And that's kind of where we're trying to push it out. So yeah, the first thing that you will see that I can say is like an update on the website, where a lot more information comes out on the site, and then it'll progress from there. I can't say a date, but it'll be soon. I know you guys are probably sick of everybody in crypto saying it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon, but
Trust me, bro.
it's gonna be soon.
No, definitely. Hey, Mush, before you go though, like, do you want to shout anybody out, or do you have anything else that you want to say, or community members or team members you want to shout out before you go?
I need, like, do you want me to pull up my Twitter following and just like no, I mean, so many people that I would shout out, bro. Like, to be honest with you, you know who you are. Like, if you don't know who you are, DM me, and I'll tell you you are one of those persons, because you can DM me.
Yeah.
Let's put it that, like, there's so many people that are in this ecosystem, bro, that are doing such great things. And you shouted out Tuan, and Tuan, I'm really proud of Tuan. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, like, when I seen him in that Ute, and he was playing the thing, I messaged him right away. It's
GTA.
like, if I have time, can I come do this with you? Because I was like, I'll model my Ute if I need to do it, because
Yeah.
it looks like fun, and that's what NFT should be. You should be able. That's how you get them into games and play them, and that's what it should be. That's my character. That's my online presence, like Ready Player One type shit, right? So yeah, shout out to one. I'm just trying to think of like, you know, who everyone from Polygon that I know I absolutely love. Like, I really have a connection. Shout out Matic Man. I haven't talked to Tony in a
Yeah,
minute,
Matic
so I
Man.
want to
Yeah.
give Matic Man a shout out if you want, because that guy's got a heart, and that guy's a good guy.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, like, I don't know who else can I shout out. Shout out the Stakit team for sure. They've been doing a lot of work, and shout out to our new devs that I hired. I hired actually 3 new devs. I can tell you that. I hired 3 new devs. So that should tell you guys we're building a
Serious.
lot of shit. Yeah. So front end, back end, full stacks, like, the whole type of shit. I used to have a lot more energy, Twan. I'm a lot older now. I don't have the fucking I got a puppy that keeps me awake now and shit. Um but yeah, no, like, shout out everyone. Like, shout out Dougie, shout out fucking Pixel. I'll give Pixel a shout out. Pixel's a good,
Yeah.
good dude. Pixel. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so many. That's the cool thing is, like, dude, I could sit here probably for 45 minutes and literally shout out so many amazing people that are within this ecosystem that don't even know how important they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you really watch certain people, you may not see it at first, but like, even Twan doing all this stuff is actually really important, right? Like, and now that he's
I like
actually
to call him
doing
a friend.
something that's big, yeah, you should bring him up on the show one day. I mean, maybe
Oh,
I
we did have a show. I'm actually looking. Hey, shout out anybody that's listening. To the people listening, I'm actually looking for a co-host too as well, man. Because we gotta like plug some music in here and stuff like that too as well. So
Twan, that's your cue.
definitely need a co-host. So let me know. Let your boy know though. But nah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
dude, I appreciate you too. Like, shout out to you too. Like, anyone that is very rare that I don't like. If I talk to you or DM you back, or I am hoping that you are gonna win. Like, to be honest, like, I am hoping that you are gonna win, because I feel like sometimes I fail so fucking much that eventually I'm gonna hit something. It'll be great, right?
Yeah.
But I like seeing other people win from consistency, because it reminds me that to keep going. So anyone that's in this space, building, working on things, anything, but from content to tech to just marketing or having fun or shit coins or whatever, just keep going, keep trying. Just make sure that you don't get yourself in any legal trouble later on if we do have mass adoption. It's something that I'd always say to people to keep in the back end of their head, because it would suck to make it and then be stuck in like some kind of weird financial jail that they set up.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, Mush, I do appreciate you coming on the show, and actually, I do appreciate you sharing your story with us. I think that was like, it's a very interesting story, and you know, people that go back and kind of watch the beginning part of it. Um, Much of a long journey to get here, and we're glad he's here. And you know, guys, if you like content like this, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and DM me if you want to come on and like be a definite co-host. I need a Jamie to my like how Joe Rogan has Jamie. I need one of those, man. But I will see you guys around on the next one.
Twan could
Hopefully,
be your Jamie for sure.
I think we're gonna have Smokey on the next one though. So I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna
Oh, that'd
happen.
be cool. I haven't talked to Smokey in a minute.
Yeah, I know, definitely. But I will see you guys around the next one. Take care, guys.
Peace. Thanks, Jack.